Wegener, yesterday, Ted Wegener. Yesterday, and yesterday's eyes. I don't know about you, but have you ever been guilty of looking at somebody through yesterday's eyes? I'd like to tell you a couple of stories. I recently got a phone call from a friend of mine who lives out of state. He called me up and he said, "Ted, I'm flabbergasted. I'm stunned. After 15 years of marriage, my wife told me her father is still alive. And she had told him before that her father was dead. So he found out after all those years that she had been lying. And they have a 14-year-old daughter. And so we talked about it. He said, he told me, and he had talked to his wife for, I guess, the better part of a year, and tried to convince her to reconcile with her father. But she's totally opposed to it. So he asked me to do a favor. He said, "Would you look up on the internet?" We have the internet these days where we can find out where somebody lives. And so I looked it up. He gave me the name. Very easy to find. He only lived about an hour away. He said, "I'm going to call him up and tell him I wanted to meet his granddaughter." I said, "Well," I said, "I don't know. That doesn't seem like the best way to go about it to me. Maybe you ought to send him a letter first. You don't know what kind of guy he is. You don't know what his reaction is going to be. Put the ball in his court, and then he can think about if he wants to do that." So that's what he did. He sent him a letter. And a week or so later, he got a phone call, and yes, the grandfather did want to meet the granddaughter. So, and unbeknownst to his wife, he put the granddaughter in the car, and drove the hour away from where he lived. And he hadn't even told the young lady that he was going to do that. He told her on the way that you're going to meet your lost grandfather that your mother never wanted you to meet. For reasons I don't really know. And the granddaughter teared up because she was going to meet her grandfather. And they had a meeting. And it went very well. And the grandfather's new wife said when she opened the letter, she broke down in tears that she had got a letter that the grandfather would be able to meet my friend's daughter. So after that, he went back home, and his wife was still unalterably opposed to the meeting and what went on. And the grandfather hadn't been a perfect person. Her mother had been dead for quite some time, and my understanding is there had been some infidelity in the marriage. He wasn't a saint. But then again, he wasn't Charlie Manson either. Before he left, the grandfather and the grandmother separated, he waited till the children were grown and they had jobs of their own, and he deeded the house to them. So, like I say, he wasn't Charlie Manson. And I'm glad that worked out for my friend, but it brought back some memories of my own. Because I never met my grandfather. And when my dad was about 12 or 13 years old, in the depths of the Depression, my grandfather abandoned his family. And that gave rise to a lifelong resentment, a lifelong hatred towards his grandfather. And my dad didn't talk to him for many decades, and I never met him. My brother never met him. My sister never met him. And towards the end of my grandfather's life, apparently my aunt had reconciled somewhat with him. My dad went, when he was sick, dying, he went and visited him. And he even gave me the opportunity to go, but he didn't mean anything to me. I'd never met him. And if I had it to do over, I would have went. And then my grandfather died, and my father went to his funeral. And he came back from the funeral. He came back. And he walked into his house shaking his head in disbelief. He says, I was there at this funeral, and these people were just saying what a wonderful person he was. How could they say that? How could they say that? So, my father, like my friend's wife, was trapped into looking at somebody through yesterday's eyes. I don't know, maybe my grandfather was a wonderful person. There's a long time between 1930 and 1980 or whatever it was. It was a long time. And people sometimes change, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they have a road to a Damascus experience. They change almost overnight. It happens. So all this makes me come to the realization that we have to be sure that we look at people through today's eyes and see how they are now. Maybe you've been looked at through yesterday's eyes by somebody. I know I have. And I know in years past I had a little bit of a wild mood. But I'm not the same person. I don't want to be looked at yesterday's eyes. And not everybody changes, but I think we have to have that discernment to see if somebody has changed and be open to it. And I think when we have that, our lives can be a lot more rewarding than if we just look at somebody with yesterday's